Now for our featured story of the day, discussing the United States of America, Treasury Secretary Howard Lutnick proposing the United States and Trump to purchase $300 billion worth of Bitcoin, which can send the Bitcoin price action skyrocketing by a factor of 10x. And from 100,000, 10x, obvious, 1 million per coin. So let's break this baby down, shall we? And shout out Luke Broyles for making the post. He wrote, and quoting Howard Lutnick, paraphrasing him here, "I want to make the USA $2 trillion. I own $1 billion of MicroStrategy." Again, Howard Lutnick owns $1 billion worth of MicroStrategy. He also owns $200 million worth of Bitcoin. As you know, that will soon become billions once Bitcoin 5x's to 500,000 per coin. And I have the authority from the President of the United States, POTUS, Trump, to buy Bitcoin in budget-neutral fashion after we sold $5 billion of gold cards and DOGE. My idea to Elon is going to cut $1 trillion from the deficit. And if you missed yesterday's podcast, it was a very powerful show because we discuss all of those budget-neutral ways for the United States to acquire more Bitcoin because they said they didn't want to use the taxpayer dollars. Well, they don't have to. They can sell gold notes or gold certificates to do so. And that's one of the proposals by the Giga Chad, Michael Saylor. But here we go. Here's the steps. Step 1, cut $1 trillion. Step 2, sell hundreds of billions of gold. I dare say, sell trillions of dollars of that crap. And quoting Max Kaiser, gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. It sure is. And step number 3, buy $300 billion worth of the bitty. Why so bearish? I say buy as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. And step number 4, force the Bitcoin price up 10x. I like that word. Let's force it up. Why not? And number 5, step 5, get Trump successors elected after bragging we made the USA literally trillions of dollars in Bitcoin during our administration. Howard Lutnick has a growing probability of being the single biggest NGU contributor in Bitcoin's history. And it seems like he wants to. You'd have to be a complete idiot to have zero exposure to Bitcoin over the next 4 years. The direction couldn't be more clear. Pump it, Howard. Pump it up. Let me know your thoughts on that proposal. And do you think that will likely take place? Yay or nay? And keep in mind that Howard Lutnick is the Treasury Secretary, and he is a massive Bitcoiner, and that's no exaggeration. I've actually watched the interview where Pompliano asked him point blank, how much Bitcoin do you own? And he said hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And I mean, having exposure to MicroStrategy is an indirect way to have exposure to Bitcoin. So he literally, figuratively speaking, has billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin exposure, and that's only going to increase. So you think he's going to have pro-Bitcoin policy? You damn skippy. You know what I mean? And let's also pull up the latest from Max Kaiser. I like Max's tweets and his insights, being he's the OG. You know what I mean? The one and only, of course, the high priest, the Bitcoin bishop. He wrote here, a stablecoin backed by gold would outcompete a US dollar backed stablecoin on world markets. Russia, China, Iran should take note. It would track inflation. The US dollar does not. You're guaranteed to lose purchasing power. The US dollar has no volatility, but again, you are guaranteed to lose purchasing power. Bitcoin is deflationary, but volatile. Gold tracks inflation and is minimally volatile. Why wouldn't Russia, China, and the Saudis and Iran do this? So what are your thoughts on a gold-backed stablecoin? There's been a lot of speculation with this over the years as well. He also wrote here, oh boy, for you chuckleheads out there. Number 1, Bitcoin is too volatile for this use case. Number 2, gold is more trusted than the US dollar, and it is easy to verify. Number 3, Russia, China, and Iran are not going to accept a US dollar stablecoin. Number 4, I predict they will counter the US dollar stablecoin with a gold one. Number 5, China and Russia have a combined 50,000 tons of gold, more than what's actually reported. And again, gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. And he also wrote here, in response to this news, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick described Ireland as his favorite tax scam in a recent interview, adding that it's got to end. Max put, this closure of the U.S.-Irish tax DOGE will have a material impact on Ireland's economy for show. You'll need to get those cows working overtime to up your butter exports. Now, Max has done some documentaries on the Irish economy and, you know, stuff like that over the years as well with Stacy. Yeah, this is crazy. This guy made $10,000 a month selling potatoes in the mail. All he does is write a message with a marker on the potato, and people are buying it up. So there's no excuse not to stack thy biddy. If you're not making at least $10,000 a month, maybe you should start selling some damn potatoes. Do what you got to do. Some say potato, some say patata. And as we mentioned earlier, Bitcoin hit the iconic block height, 888,888. And in numerology, 8 represents the balance between the material and spiritual worlds, intelligent infinity, the same as the Ethereum max token supply, infinity sign. And Max also wrote that the Bitcoin singularity and the return of Jesus are one of the same. And shout out El Salvador, their national library gets a full Bitcoin node. The most epic library I've ever set foot in. I mean, that's an actual photo of it. It was fantastic. I visited that spot a couple of months ago. It was definitely one of the highlights for me. And of course, El Salvador continues, add more Bitcoin to their strategic reserve, 1 bitty per day, every day. Total Bitcoin added, 1 Bitcoin just the other day. I think that was yesterday. Total Bitcoin added in 30 days, 42. That's an average of more than 1 per day. And their total strategic Bitcoin holdings is 6,123. You can verify it right here. If you don't know, now you know. And again, welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream.